It's In the Field Radio, y'all.
Everything's real in the field.
On 91.3 FM, WVKR. Welcome to In the Field Radio on 91.3 FM, WVKR, in Poughkeepsie, Independent Radio. I am the Lady D. It's a beautiful Sunday evening, or Monday evening, by the time you hear this. And I feel good. I made it through the Mercury Retrograde, I believe. And things are starting to look a little better for me because it's been rough. It has been really rough for no reason. So literally, things started happening to me as far as like money and my car and just technology things. And I was sitting at home like, what is going on? There's something wrong here. There's bad juju going on. And I say this to Erin, and she's like, Mercury is in retrograde. I usually don't care about that stuff. Like, I know that I'm a Taurus, and I know, like, the signs of people I date and are friends with, and that's kind of as far as it goes for me. So I'm like, cool. I look it up, y'all. And when it started is when the issue started. And then it ended on the 3rd. That's when stuff started getting better. So I'm a little spooked out about it. So I pull up this article from the Post about it. And I'm a Taurus. My birthday is May 13th. So apparently the retrograde is heavily within the earth signs or what have you. I didn't even know I was an earth sign. I don't know. But anyway, when it comes to my finances, I love to always come out on top. This is accurate. Except for during the retrograde, it'll be prodding me where it hurts. Confusion around money, income, checks of your job is sure to pop up. That's what happened. I was like waiting to be paid out for things that I wasn't paid out for. And it was just a whole mess. And I was trying to get it together. And then, when I got paid out for it? On the 3rd. On the 3rd, the last day of that foolishness. But I was stressed out. And then technology. My car starts acting crazy. And I just spent a bunch of money, like, on the car, keeping it running, keeping it good or what have you, so I don't have these problems. And then the car turns off while I'm at work. And I have to have it towed and things. And I get my car back on the 3rd also. And it ends up being like some little silly issue, like the battery terminal was loose or something. Like, it wasn't even a huge deal, but it was a mess. The whole retrograde, I was like walking to work. But listen, while I have to walk to work, I'm standing in my kitchen. I bend down, I stand up, and my knee gets thrown out. So now I have to walk to work in pain also. It was just one thing after the other. They mentioned communication breakdowns, are people receiving the message you're trying to give? I get into an argument with my significant other, which usually doesn't happen. And we get into this whole argument, and it was really a huge miscommunication. And I'm like, oh my God, it's really happening. And so I don't know if anybody else has experiences like that, but I did for the first time. I mean, that was worth mentioning. And I'm glad it's over. I did take some time to think and evaluate things, which is what I guess you're encouraged to do. But no, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I don't know why all of a sudden it's a thing. Like, I feel like this is recent, the retrograde of the planet, like people talking about it and actually being fearful of it. In the past, maybe 3 years, it's become a thing. Like, what was happening before that? I don't know. Maybe we just didn't know about it or realize it, I have no idea. But it's a thing now. It's a real thing. I admit it. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while. We had to re-air some episodes. Some things didn't get played. I have no idea what's going on, but we're going to work it out. But what I do want to share with you is that we've added another day of the week here on WVKR. So, in addition to Monday nights at 10 p.m., you can hear In the Field Radio on Thursday nights at 11 p.m. And don't forget, we still got the podcast whenever you want. You know, wherever you listen to podcasts, look up In the Field Radio. You can listen to a bunch of interviews and stuff. We don't get to play music there, but you can hear us talk. And we're gonna start recording separate podcast episodes that are, I guess, explicit, if you will, where we're not under the ruling thumb of the FCC and things. So look out for that, because I'm excited about it. So without further ado, I'm going to get into some music. I do actually have an interview with Senior Gee and Trekdaclassick to air for you guys. Something short and sweet, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be back to close it on out. In the Field Radio, 91.3 FM. Lady D. I missed y'all. I'll be right back.
Hey, are you thinking about starting your own podcast? Well, you can stop overthinking it, because the hardest part is actually getting started. And that's where Buzzsprout comes in. Buzzsprout makes it easy to launch your podcast and has already helped over 100,000 people just like you start and grow their own podcast. With Buzzsprout, you can have your show listed on all major platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You'll get a great-looking podcast website, audio players you can embed on other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episodes, and more. Stop waiting. Start your own podcast today and get a $20 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is click the link in the show notes below. This lets Buzzsprout know we sent you, and it helps support our show. I'm Erin Boogie, and I'm here with
Senior Gee, the music industry's holy trinity.
Your boy Trekdaclassick, your neighborhood local teamster.
Without giving you a whole dissertation, Senior Gee is very Googleable. Senior like your last year in high school, space bar, GEE, return key. And everything is pretty much there. But to give you a brief schematic synopsis, I am the creator and founder of New Age Hip Hop Music, which is 100% profanity-free, mostly vulgar-free music. We believe in vocabulary here. It's been around for 2 decades. I'm an engineer, producer, artist, and writer, entrepreneur, father, friend, uplifter, and leader.
Do you feel pressure to be social media savvy as artists?
Nah, I mean to an extent, but nah. Like this is where it's at. Like the whole interview conversation type. You know, you post on Instagram and things like that, but for me, not really.
I mean, I think
it doesn't hurt.
No, yeah, it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt, but even still, you know, with everything that's going on, especially nowadays, you know, knowledge is infinite. You know,
Absolutely.
you can never be too old or too young to learn anything. And I think as long as you're willing to keep the will to learn up front as what your main talent should be, you really shouldn't have any trouble getting to wherever it is that you're trying to go with anything that you're trying to do with your life.
I'm with you with that, but
along
with that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, on the other side of that, I also feel like there's certain things that, like, you can do, but you might not be good at. So even though you can fumble your way through it, like, you have to understand that sometimes you need to just ask for help and have a professional take care of it.
Yeah. I mean, it just depends. Not everybody, people have that mindset, but their reality doesn't allow them to apply that mindset. So a lot of people are forced, because of their reality and their drive, to do it on their own. And I think those individuals I think those
I can relate to that.
individuals.
I've been there.
I'm there with you.
Still
Yeah.
going.
You know, people are forced to do everything, and then the ones that have the availability to bring in the professionals, that's great. And then you have the ones that's got everything but no talent whatsoever.
Oh
they just got money and bored.
Hard work and money beats
$1 million
talent.
mixing board, and your music sounds like we clicking bottles together,
my
like the intro to Craig Mack or something.
Not only that, it could be a combination. All of these variables can be involved, but the most important one out of any of them, no matter how any of them may fall short, as long as the consistency part is there, it is not going to matter. If you being consistent with putting out hot garbage, with it's a lot of that in mainstream commercial radio. It is hot.
You're gonna get a
garbage. Take away the beats, because that's what you like.
Yeah.
Take away the beats and just play. I dare any commercial radio station that I have vested interest in from New York City, whether it be Hot 97, 105, doesn't matter. They all work for me. I dare any one of them to have a segment where they play just acapellas of these new records, and let's listen to what these people are actually saying. And let's have this conversation after that.
No, but let's not do that, because that sounds like a horrible time.
No, but
commercial.
It needs to. No, I'm just saying. The reason why I'm saying it, this is me speaking as, all right, look, the difference between rap/hip hop and then new age hip hop. Like, okay,
Listen,
let's get the beats out.
No, you know what that reminds me of is that when they dropped the 36 Chambers Extended, and that it has the acapella to Cream on it. Like, you can listen to the acapella to Cream and still be like, that's a vibe.
And you can make your own beat up in your head, and
but you are still rapping along like you know that beat. That beat is timeless. Right? But that song, that acapella, is timeless. Like, you feel, and it's almost like you feel his words without that beat. It's more like poetry. It's spoken word.
You know what I'm saying? When
yeah.
It resonates.
Yeah, you could.
It resonates so much crazy.
I mean, look, I get it. There's a hood everywhere.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a trap house everywhere. They're not saying anything that's unheard of and hasn't been done already. I just think that they're so content. No, they're so content and comfortable. They become lazy, and that's why they're building more penitentiaries than YMCA's.
But what do you think about content too? Because some of those rappers become rappers and then become gangsters because that's what their content is, and so they feel like they have to live up to that, versus like when gangsters were rappers initially, it was because that's what they were going through, and hip-hop was therapy for them.
I'm old school, so you know you got to be careful what you say, but what I will say is real gangsters don't kill innocent people. Real gangsters kill who needs to be killed, and there's a lot of innocent babies dying for no reason because of a plan that was put into place over 3 decades ago. And you got a lot of these rappers that's got a lot of common denominators to them. A lot of them come from broken homes. A lot of them come from the male figure being incarcerated for making a lot of making the choices of no, but this is the common denominator, and this is what's not talked about. This is what's not talked about. So, as a young man coming up, it's like, oh, my mom's doing everything. Nah, I'm gonna make sure my mother never have to do this, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And they all fall into this trap of the music that was being portrayed to them when they were children, right? What they wanted to be. And there was nobody coming out and correcting it and saying, no, this is just entertainment, don't do that, because if you do this is what's going to happen. Right. And then they're only doing it where they feel comfortable.
So now let me ask you this. So Drewski came out and he said that he was no longer going to play diss records or gang records.
Drewski, okay. So
what do you think about that? Because he's really talking about the violence happening in the drill scene.
Here's my thing. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if the drill scene was here or not. The talking of the violence in the lyrics, it's still going to be there. It's just going to be on something different. Like,
we went from being innovative and creative to a bunch of, all right, you
The
know
same
what?
cookie cutter.
Let me just, yeah, like.
So then, were you a fan of like when Jay-Z did the Linkin Park album and like those sorts of moments too?
it was cool, you know.
Super different.
It was. I like the principles behind the records. To be fair, I like that. I don't necessarily, as a producer and then as an engineer, I'm not. I can honestly say I don't particularly care the way that it was applied, but there was still a good end result. Yeah. You know, and I'm saying that, you know, from an engineering point of view, from an artistic point of view, like I said, you know, I like the way the principles of how it came about is concerned. I just think that it could have been applied a little differently. But again, I'd rather play Plants vs. Zombies or Fortnite. Take my frustrations out.
On some building.
Well, no, not even that. You know, I know that I could go online and take my frustrations out from dealing with the having the zero tolerance for stupidity from the individuals that we see daily or we got to interact with whenever we doing what we need to do, and I don't have to worry about risking my freedom.
It's therapy.
Yeah.
That's all it is therapy. That's why we hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
What games do you guys play?
I'm all first.
Plants vs. Zombies in Fortnite. Well, he plays Apex.
Apex Legends, all the Call of Duties.
I'm literally still on Super Nintendo.
I have one of those.
Yeah, my Super Nintendo is hooked up. Don't get it twisted. Killer Instinct, Yoshi's Island, Tetris 2.
I'm a big Super
Street
Mario.
Fighter 2 Turbo.
I have every system still in the closet.
I still have to blow in the cartridge.
Yo, can we shout out Super Nintendo though for not breaking down? Because I don't know how many PlayStation 2s I done went through.
Man, the thing just
no. The
spin of death.
Okay. Let me stop right there. Both my PlayStation 2s, the fatback one, the original one,
the big booty.
Purchased that, and let me see, he's 23. So yeah, purchased that 23 years ago. Still works. I lost count of how many times I took it apart and cleaned it with alcohol and Q-tips, but it still works. And then I had to get the skinny one because you know it came out with the little
slim, the
little slim one because one of the games that I used to use for production. Some new age hip hop tracks were produced on a PlayStation World.
That game, right, with the
Funk Flex had a game.
No, what? I don't remember this.
Oh,
yeah. Oh no. Funk Flex had a game. I
still have a PlayStation 2.
Funk Flex had a game
somewhere.
I have a 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you was able to make beats on that. Magic's Music Maker. That's what it was called. That was on PlayStation 1. You was able to make beats on PlayStation 1 back in the days, and where you was able to put the game in, and when you got to a certain point, you opened it up, you took the game out, and you could put a regular CD in there that had the sample on it. Then you would sample
Rock Band. That's what it was.
Into the game. Funk Flex had a game out. Another company had a game out, and you was actually able to produce real actual tracks on the PlayStation. I'm learning to convert into the newest style of productions because when I originally started producing, it was on an MP. You know, and not even the 2000 XL. I had an MP. I got the MPC 60. Actually, the one that I own, the Mark II, I had got from Rogue Music in Manhattan, and this particular model, Marley Ball and them had in Queensbridge, and it produced. I actually own a piece of hip hop. They produced Symphony with it, and a couple other beats that they used from Power Play Studios. I took very good care of it. That it's missing the whatchamacallit knob, but you know, it still works. So I'm old school, and then getting into the whole thing with them producing on the TV, and that was years ago, the beginning of the 2000s and stuff. But I knew once I saw it, and I had good enough headphones that I did need a TV to see where I was in the track, and then record it into Pro Tools. That back then, the old fatback iMacs with the big TVs, or we had the G4 towers.
I still have one in my basement.
That looked like, they used to look like freaking Jolly Rancher rappers.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
Macs. Yeah,
Those were dope though.
Yeah, but the processing really wasn't all that great, but at the same time, hell yeah, it was a cool color. You know what I'm saying?
It was a cool color.
Hell yeah, it was a cool color. I'm just saying, we just used what we had.
Yeah.
And I was never, never ungrateful for whatever it was that it has. But now it's like, yeah, I was kind of forced to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. But it's like I don't have the latest operating system, but I'm still, I'm using Logic now. I'm learning more getting into Logic as far as the production is concerned, and then trying to learn that. And it's been a learning curve because after using Pro Tools for 20 plus years, it's like, okay, well now I gotta go relearn this. And then it goes back to what I said earlier. I think as long as you keep your main talent, the ability to learn up front, regardless of whatever it is that we want to do creatively, as long as we put that first, whatever it is that we think we do it'll happen that much faster. But as far as the artist though, every day you should be practicing. When you're not doing what it is you feel you should be doing, like say for example, if you're a producer, you're not making a beat right then and there, then you should be practicing your mind how you're going to be doing arrangement. So therefore, when you actually get there, you can just be creative, and the application is different now because you practiced it already. So now for the artistry, I tend to go through the song, sing the songs, and then make certain movements, work on breath control.
That's a big thing that you see a lot of artists out of breath on stage. Don't do that.
Well, because there isn't. No, that's not what it is. There isn't any artist development. There is no one coming in and saying, "Hey, look, you're talented, but you could be so much more if you did this." And instead of the recipient on the other end of the statement being like, "Nah, I'm good, I got it, look at my numbers, this is what I'm doing, and just being more receptive and saying, "Well, okay, come show me, humble yourself, come show me," because everybody needs help.
You're not too good.
I'm somebody who can literally put a record out on his own. Mm-hmm. Literally, I don't need from beginning to end and put it out, market, do the graphics, everything, and I still need help. Right. Everybody needs help. I just think that.
No, I agree.
Us as artists, humble yourselves a little more. To the point like, what? Maybe instead of recording, maybe I should stand up and actually use my diaphragm instead of lying to myself and to the people sitting down during the performance, because when I actually have to do a performance on stage, I'm going to run out of breath.
Hear it out.
When we're doing recording, there's no punch-ins allowed in New Age hip-hop. There is no punch-ins allowed in New Age hip-hop. It be in the digital era now, so you got more than 24 tracks on 2-inch tape. There is no excuse now why you cannot write out a vocal where you can break it up and then put whatever else you need on the ad-lib track. Why are you lying to yourselves and to the people trying to deliver a perfect performance that in reality you could never do?
With all the punches.
Now I'm talking as an artist, I'm talking as an engineer, and I'm talking as a producer.
Well, and why are artists lazy now? And they'll go out and perform over their track, and then they're basically ad-libbing. You're doing your ad-libs live.
Thing, put that on blast.
But it was on blast before that. That just highlighted.
Highlighted it.
But it needed to be highlighted.
Yes,
I think that's garbage. Especially as a consumer, if I'm going to see somebody live,
I want to see you live.
And if you don't sound live remotely close to what you sound recorded, then we have a problem. we have a problem.
I mean,
because now you're an industry plant, you're manufactured, you actually have no talent. Get out of my
the way
ears.
she's saying it, though.
No,
It's
it's
from the heart.
true.
It's
Like, that's
from
how
the
I
heart.
feel
It's
about
sincere.
it.
It's sincere.
I mean,
And you'd be surprised, like, some of the artists that have, like, these weird voices that you think is totally manufactured, and you go see them live, and they sound exactly how they sound recorded. Like, the first time I heard Young Jeezy, like, I was surprised at how much that man's voice actually sounds like that in real life. Like, he really sounds like that. Worst performance I've ever seen in my life, because it was him and 200 dudes standing on a stage not doing nothing, so it was, like, really boring. But
no showmanship.
no, well, and he opened up for Lil Wayne in 2009, who then came out with, like, the pyrotechnics, the screens, the dancers, the outfit changes, all of Young Money. And that was back when, like, I didn't even know who Nicki Minaj was, and he brought her out, and Drake, and he had just signed him and stuff. So it was like that was really the rock star era of, you know, Lil Wayne made sure when you came to see Lil Wayne, it was a full production. Right. It was like going to see Celine Dion and Mariah Carey, and how they were putting on full production.
He had good help.
He had that.
He had people in place that made sure that
his
vision can come to. That's.
But he's also a visionary. Like, Jeezy was a hood dude who showed up with 200 of his friends and stood on the stage and rapped his songs. You know what I mean? There was like a major. It just was super highlighted at that moment because you had, like, night and day.
But, you know,
back to back.
That's very
there just
true.
comes a point. They're just people that are phenomenal. You can. I mean, there's three things. Either you're a great performer and your songs aren't that good, but because you're such a good performer, I'll rock with the song.
Yeah.
Vice versa. And then there's people, slim few, that could do both. I'm gonna rock the show, and you love the music as is. So it's like, you either got it or you don't. Some people got it that are successful. They just are not good performers.
I've been fortunate enough working as a promoter the last couple of years to be able to see some of the newer artists coming up live and not having to pay to do it. But some of them, like, I would have been, like, real upset if I bought tickets to their show. Like, I'll tell you, the worst offender was Young M.A., and she's a super talented rapper. But she came out, and at the time, she really only had Ooh out and, like, a couple freestyles. So she played that song twice and didn't really perform to it. Like, she was doing a lot of, like, holding the microphone out to the crowd and letting the crowd sing along, like, with her track. And I was like, yo, like, if I had paid to be in the building tonight, I would be real disappointed about where I spent my money. Because it's not cheap to go see these people either.
I see what you're saying.
Super cool, like, too cool for school somewhat.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
but then you go see Wu-Tang and it's 9 people, well, 8 people, and then whoever else they bring out. Because they usually bring Capadonna and stuff. And it's like all of them.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
No comparison.
No, but it is a comparison.
But to prove the point, though, like, I get it.
But she pulled out the dagger.
I mean, like
no, because I said it about Lil Wayne too. Like, Lil Wayne, like, you could go see Lil Wayne next to Wu-Tang Clan, and he could hold his own in production value and make you engaged. And, well, that's not true. The last time I saw him, that man was definitely leaned out and did not even know that he was at Summer Jam. He was looking at the DJ like, where the F am I?
Because a lot of these dudes, believe it or not, even rocking shows still have stage fright. That gives them anxiety.
Hey, look.
And they cope with it in crazy ways.
I hear you. Here's, okay.
You know, it's not the
attention artists.
wave,
Attention artists that are having that issue. Okay? We all have our vices. No one's judging.
For sure.
Okay? But at the end of the day, you still have a responsibility. You still have to be a professional.
Right.
You know, also, all I'm saying is just choose to hold off for a little bit and find something else that's more conducive to your situation as the professional, that people are spending their money to come see you, to come support, to buy merch, or whatever it is. You should not be shortchanging these people visually, spiritually, or physically when they're right there. That's just me. But when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. You know what I'm saying? If you just did that all across the board, I think a lot of people have less anxiety. They're able to, or at least be able to get over it faster, get through the performance, and once they're done, smoke they bud, drink they lean, drink whatever it is that they want to do, because at the end of the day, that's their temple, and whatever they decide to do with it, that's between them and
God.
Yeah. Yeah. That's between them and the energies that allow them to open their eyes. That's it. That's not my place. My place as an elder
is to guide
it's just to give the information.
Yeah.
So therefore I can clear my conscience. So like, yo, look, Senior G said it. And I wasn't saying it in a way that I'm talking at them. I'm talking to y'all. That's another difference. But I just think that a lot of the younger generation of artists, and when I say younger generation, it doesn't necessarily mean age, because you got older artists that are, as far as older in calendar years, but is still young as artists, as professionals. You know, I just think the younger generation of artists overall should be a little bit more receptive.
Yep.
But at the same time, the people that's talking to them need to communicate a little better to them, and more so talking to them, and like I said, instead of talking at them, and make it more of a general conversation versus a scolding, and then there won't be as much combativeness.
Peers to parents, like, and if someone gives you advice, that's all it is. What you take of it is what it is, but it's not. It shouldn't shatter you or get you to the point that now you're defensive. Like, oh, we gonna fight now.
Thank you guys for coming out. God bless you. Good night.
Yes, sir.
It's your girl Vina Love, and you're listening to In the Field Radio on 91.3 FM WVKR.
Welcome back to In the Field Radio. It's me, the Lady D. If you like what you're hearing on this show, please let me know. Hit us up via website. There's a contact form on inthefieldradio.com, or you can send us messages on our Instagram and Facebook. Both of those pages are In the Field Radio. You'll see the little microphone in the grass with the war helmet on. That's us. Myself and Erin Boogie also have our respective Instagrams, THEE Lady _D and at Erin Boogie. Find us, say hi. Just in case you missed it when I said it earlier, remember, we're on Monday nights at 10 p.m. and now Thursdays at 11 p.m. right here on 91.3 FM WVKR. I'm always up in the email taking music submissions, so make sure you put your name on it and name the track, and then you could send them to info@inthefieldradio.com, and I will listen to it. And if I think that my wonderful fan base will enjoy it, I will play it. Even if I don't personally enjoy it, if I think that y'all will enjoy it, I'll play it. Okay? That's it for now. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Thanks for hanging with those chicks on Mondays and Thursdays now. In the Field Radio, 91.3 FM, WVKR. Lady D, good night.